That's about right. Good morning. I have a package from Protein Works. If you're familiar with this brand, you'll know that they do supplements. So I would say that I get around 50 to 60 grams a day. No, probably more so 50 grams a day in terms of protein from supplements. Now, you can argue that I'm quite reliant on such products, but the way I look at it is this is quite cost effective from a protein perspective. And when you're training to a certain level or in certain volume, and with my weight, I need more protein than quote unquote your average person. And so, yeah, I just want to make my life easier. And so this is what I typically buy from Protein Works. They always give a little, I mean, I know I've got a great taste. I do not need to be reminded about it. So I always typically get diet whey isolate. So in short, the difference between whey protein and whey protein isolate is isolate just goes through more of a filtration process. So as opposed to 80 to 85% protein, isolate is 90 to 95% protein. So this flavor here is vanilla cream. They all look the same, to be honest, in terms of packaging. But for the sake of this package, I've got one protein isolate. So this is 90 calories a scoop and I'm getting 22 grams of protein. I've decided to mix it up and get a whey protein 360. So this is a little bit more calorific. It actually has less protein than the isolate, but at the end of the day, this is going to have a little bit more taste. And so if you are really struggling from a taste bud perspective with protein powder, then just get your normal whey protein. This 360 version is specific to Protein Works. This is chocolate bueno. So in my head, I'm envisioning that this is going to taste like a Kinder Bueno. Maybe that is a bit optimistic, but stay tuned. Maybe not in this video, but soon. And then this is whey protein. So Millionaire Shortbread is my favorite. I am currently mixing this with a bowl of Rice Krispies in the morning, and I cannot recommend it enough. If you run in particular, and if you've got usually an early morning run, but you've got time to eat, Rice Krispies is perfect. Very little fiber, lots of carbohydrates. Mix that with some protein milk. I just use semi-skimmed milk. You're on to a winner. Trust me. It is a day later and I'm gonna go on a run, then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna talk to you about my training program. I'm obviously not in marathon prep anymore, but running is still gonna be a big part of my training because I feel great when I do it. And also I've got some goals over the winter period. You know, if you can do it over winter training, that is, if you can keep the discipline, the consistency, then honestly, you can do it any time of the year. So I've got a half marathon on Sunday. This will be like my final race of the year. So today is going to be a slow 12, 14K. So let's do it. Oh. All right. Run complete. Just shy of an hour. Easy. promising stuff. Sunday I'm going a lot harder in terms of pace, so it's really important to prioritize those slow runs as you do the fast, because you will burn yourself out. So anyway, let's talk about this training. So I've got my winter goals on here. So if you see me glancing to the right or left, you know why. But we're going to keep this really simple. We're going to talk about the gym, we're going to talk about running, I'm going to talk about my training and how it is I'm going to go about achieving my goals. So in terms of the gym, sweet and simple, I want to gain a couple of kilos of weight, which I know doesn't sound very exciting, but when you're doing it naturally and when you're doing it with the intention of not building too much body fat in the process, it does take a notable amount of time. So I'm around 86 kilos at the moment and I want to be closer to 88. I do think beyond 88, the body fat does start to build notably more. I think that's just where I'm at currently in terms of my, I don't want to say physical limits, but I think there is some theory to suggest that, I've been training now for 16 years. I think going beyond that, certainly beyond that 90 kilo mark, I'm definitely going to be a bit fluffier than I would like to be relative to some of my endurance goals as well. So I think 2 kilos of body weight is where I want to be. I want to focus on my legs a little bit more in particular because I just haven't trained them as much this year. I was traveling and I was fortunate enough to do so. And so training itself generally was inconsistent. And then I was training for the marathon, and a huge thing that I changed this year with my marathon prep was I didn't train legs as much, and it paid off. So, no regrets in that regard, but I do want to build it up again. So I want to focus a lot on my quadriceps and on my glutes. I think my hamstrings will come part and parcel of that experience, but quads and glutes, I want to build. In terms of running, there's a few that I want to, maintain and build on. So my VO2 max, and I know this is an estimate, I want it to stay in and around 60 milliliters per kilo per minute. The way I track that is simply on my Apple Watch, and I don't want to obsess over this number, and I don't currently, but I think it is a good indicator. Even if it is inaccurate, it's still a good metric to gauge your overall level of fitness. And I think with some of the goals that I'm about to explain, or detail even, I need my VO2 max to be in and around that 60 mark. Currently it's just below, it kind of hits it and then comes back down. It's an on and off relationship. So that's the first one. The second thing is going to be 5K, 10K and half marathon. So I attempted a 5K PB over 2 years ago now. I just haven't done one since, put simply, and I did it in 16 minutes, 32 seconds. I think I can beat that. I think I can beat that right now. But I need to be mindful and tactful of when it is that I go for that PB, because you do have to plan it. So I'd love to do a 16-minute 5K, so shave off 30 seconds. In terms of a 10K, I'd love to do it in 35 minutes. Again, I think I'm capable of that. I've never done a 10K race, so I want to build over this winter period. I want to get to a place where maybe around February, January even, I attempt a 10K race. And then in terms of half marathon, it is my favorite distance and I would love to do it in 1 hour 16. I'm currently at 1 hour 17:43. So we're talking shaving off a minute, 90 seconds, which again doesn't sound a lot, but at that pace, the margins are pretty fine. So yeah, I mean, that pace has to be 3:35 per kilometer for those wondering. So fast, but I know I can do it. So it's just a case of really keeping my fitness over the winter period. So therefore, in terms of training, let's talk about it. So I've got a nice little list here. I'm going to go through it day by day. Monday, I'm going to be in the gym. It's going to be upper body, typically going to be revolving around chest and shoulders because those are the areas that I want to work on more over these next few months. Tuesday, I'm going to go on a run. It's going to be anywhere between 14 to 18 kilometers. It's going to be of a moderate intensity. Every single Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be legs. So again, I'm going to be focusing on quads and glutes, but I am going to alternate every week. So 1 week is going to be quad heavy, second week is going to be glute heavy, and then alternate week by week. Thursday is going to be a pull session. So that's where we're going to be focusing on back, stating the obvious. Friday, another medium run. I say medium, relative to my distances at the moment, 12 to 18k is a medium distance, but 12 to 18 kilometers on a Friday. Pace wise, I probably go moderate to fast, because then on Saturday I'm going to rest, and then Sunday's going to be a long run. So Sunday could be anywhere up to 30 kilometers. And this is honestly what it takes to really keep the fitness that I have currently, because I'm not a big advocate of running every day. I want my life to be more than that in terms of training. And so I'm only running 3 times a week. I've found that that is really the sweet spot for me. So they're my goals. Build 2 kilos of muscle, keep in and around 60 VO2 max, get PBs on the 5K, 10K and half marathon. It's not much to ask, is it? I saw somebody online the other day who is planning on doing a Ironman in every continent in 4 weeks. So, you know, I look at my goals here and I think they're challenging, but they're also like reasonable. I'm not making a outrageous amount of sacrifice in my life to achieve them. I feel as if social media's gone absolute AWOL with some fitness goals of late. Maybe that's just my opinion, but anyway, yeah, that's it. Next video, I'm going to be talking about my marathon goal. It's a big one. So stick around for that. I'll see you in the next one.